Welcome back to another episode, guys. Getting ready to go do some pre-staking, but before we can do that, I got a couple nuisance jobs checked, so it'll be early afternoon when we get started, so let's get rolling. Hey guys and gals, we're back at it, so let's check out these trails. Got a real nice trail right here. You can kind of see that tunneling effect going on. Let's go down there and I'll show you what I set up. Alright guys, it's kind of hard to make out in these leaves, but there's a trail coming here. And then if you see here where I pre-staked this dog proof, there's another trail going that way. Right up there. So they come together right there in the center, that tuft of grass. I got DP pre-staked. Then if you look up here where it goes up, I've got a 1.5 pre-staked right there off the side. Nice little shelf there to set that on. So that way hopefully the DP screens for the raccoon, and if something else comes through, hopefully we play clean up with our 1.5. So guys, if you look at this bottom here, it's cow pasture. You can see a ditch kind of reaches out there to the left side a little bit, but coyote's got to cross somewhere. See that? It's a duck under. And the trail's real subtle. That's because it's a coyote trail. Not just a coyote trail, but coyotes don't leave a beat down trail quite like a raccoon typically. So, good spot to get them at. Let's pre-stake some sets here. Probably put in a couple 1 3/4 foot holds. Right there's the proof that coyotes been crossing under that fence. Notice it's not wiry like deer hair. It's coyote fur off the neck back region. We've got trap here, trap pre-staked here, and we know the coyotes come through. And coming off that same trail up here at the top, big old pile of coon scat. So those big boars and bigger coons will run the outside away from cover a little more because they're not as scared. So hopefully when we set those, coyotes come through. I don't really want to ruin a good trail on raccoons. Now if you guys can see here, I pre-staked a 220 laying there in the grass. I'm out of H stands, but this is a trail where they're coming directly over the top of the culvert. Now usually I'd be a little nervous about catching a coyote here too. But the grass is so laid over, I don't think they've been running it. So we'll set it for, you know, raccoon, mink, otter, bobcats. It's a great bobcat location. We'll just set a 220 here. I don't want to mess up the trail either, as it's pretty narrow, you see. Well guys and gals, it's 1 week later. It was almost 80 degrees last week. And remember, we've been droughted for 5, 6 months. Ground was like concrete. Well, it rained, and it's about 30 degrees this morning. So we got to add to the gear. Let's see if Old Faithful fires up. Come on, old Betsy, we can do this. Here we go. Oh yeah. We're going to roll that on over to the other though. I don't think we'll be wanting any of that cool air today. Let's get going. Haha, you guys thought that those were all my traps last weekend. My buddy Eddie, I sent him a picture. He said, "Where's the rest of them?" Well, they were just sitting in the shop waiting to go. Some of them were sitting outside trying to collect a little rust. And you can tell I invested in a dozen Sleepy Creek 11s, a bunch of Bridger 1.5s I got a deal on. We are still ready to roll. It's cold as butt out here. Advice for the day: these brown jersey gloves, 2-pack, cost $1 a piece for each pair. Dad always told me, he said, if one gets skunky smelling, or you know, you rip them, you're not out much. But keeping your hands off that steel, keep your hands warm and working the whole day. So anyways, worth the price every time. So here we got, you can see a nice coon trail. It's a solo tree on a cornfield side. And then over here, just a pasture, but there's a trail right by the tree on the other side. Just a solo tree by itself. The trail's a little hard to see, but it's right there. So, let's get this set up. Look at this trail here, guys. Coming off the edge of some cedars. Going across cornfield near creek bottom. So, get this one set up. I often get asked, guys, how do you know what's running these trails? And the truth of the matter is, you don't. There's a diversity of animals that will travel a trail, especially in a ditch. Okay, so what you're doing is you're guessing. And there's certain things I base my, what I'm guessing on. And I'll show you this one. Alright guys, you see here I pre-staked a 1.5. This is a narrow trail. It looks just like a raccoon trail. I mean, the way it's beat down. You see this? It's pretty narrow. Okay, but I'm putting 1.5s here and I'll show you why. Alright guys, this is one of those netted fence. And you can see there's a gap. It's not a big gap. It's bigger than it looks on camera. It's about, I'd say 6-7 inches of a gap underneath that netted fence. Alright, so that's big enough for a coyote or a bobcat. And this is a location off the side of it's hard to tell that with looking through here, but there's a pasture and there's a creek down that way further. So this would be a good spot for a coyote or a bobcat to cross. And your typical raccoon and skunk and stuff's going to come through here too. So your next question with that is, why are you running a 1.5? Well, what I'm running here is a 1.5 bridger. We're pre-staking them, guys. We're not setting, remember. And sets next week, set day. And so I picked the 1.5 bridger because it's got those tall jaws. I can catch a coyote in these. So I can catch a coyote or a cat and hold it. But I'm also going to catch my raccoon and my skunks. Pardon me, we're pounding into a clay bottom here. So that's why I picked the bridger 1.5 on this trail. It'll catch anything that comes through, and with a duck under like that, there's just a high chance of a coyote or a cat coming through here, as well as your raccoon and skunks. You guys up north sending me snow flurries today. Y'all think it's funny. Don't do it. I ain't in the mood. Jerks. Can't make this up, guys. It's snowing out. It's supposed to be 70s later this coming week. Gotta love Iowa. Guys, how things can change so easily from year to year. You see here, there was a fence line. Well, I caught a red fox here last year up. There was a trail coming across there to the field behind me. Well, this year there's no trail, not even a hint of a trail up there. Well, it's because of a simple thing. They drove the trail here, and this year they cut it that way further. And so you'll see here, here's our trail. Them animals are always looking for shortcuts, that's it. These right here are my favorite 220 trails. I've got a 220 pre-staked off the side there. I'm out of H stands and I'm actually out of 220s, but that way the trail doesn't get messed up. This is a good spot to take a raccoon, a skunk, or a possum. Come across the road here, and we got one pre-staked on this side too. So you can't see it, it's right on the other side of that tuft of grass, but good 220 spots because it's a high visibility road. Animals, dispatched, and nobody knows any different. Well guys, this bottom, in all the years I've trapped, over a decade in this area, has never been dry. And even after the rain we got, which was, I don't know, 3-4 inches, you see here, the good part is, there's the trail. This is a creek, a big creek, and a lot of runoff comes down here, and you can't even tell. There's the trail. and here's the rest. So the good news is this will be easy to set up this year. I mean, there's not a drip of water down here, guys. Look at that. I mean, you know where they're traveling. There's not one trail except down the middle of this whole thing. So, not one drip of water. So, anyways, get this set up. Well, a couple sets like this is how we set this up. We'll do here more opening day though, based on if it rains between now and then. Notice I put them up high in case we get a bunch of rain or something. Alright guys, this is the last one I'm going to film. We're losing daylight. You see this an old long concrete culvert. Goes underneath the highway. There's big rocks. All this is big rocks, and you see they fall in and there's gaps there. So what I did was that's why I always carry some odd end things. We wired up there, put a DP there. On opening day, we'll fill it with bait. We'll have a trailing scent running right up to it. So, simple setup, versatility pays off. Tough spot.
Got an outdoor edge, catching critters.